be unafraid to ask questions and keep yourself on task, because if you get behind, they're gonna cut you off. My name is Blau. I am 31 and I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I've been in New York City for the past 12 years. I graduated from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts and I studied acting, and at NYU they divide you into different studios for specific technique training. So I was in the Atlantic Theater School and I attended there for 3 years, and that was my conservatory acting training. Coming straight out of high school into a college setting, I was still really focused on the school aspect of it and doing well and pleasing everybody, and I think that, you know, were I to go back, I would make it more of my own. People can critique you and not like what you're doing, but if you're throwing yourself into it, that's worth your money. I was pretty lucky, I think, in my conservatory training to discuss, at least to some degree, the business aspect of acting and theater. And while we didn't have a lot of formal training in producing, I think just that energy of knowing, like, this is my responsibility. I'm not just an actor, and I'm not just somebody who's waiting along for a job. I think just kind of having that confidence and that sense of, yeah, this is my responsibility behind it helped me get started. It was definitely a shot in the dark, and it was really just about learning as you go. And now that I'm in the position that I am, having produced several shows, I kind of feel that it's difficult, but it's not more difficult than anybody can handle. You really just have to throw yourself into it, be willing to make mistakes, and people generally do make mistakes, and people will help you and guide you, and people won't help you, and you'll get through it just like anything else. So I think kind of the best producing training is just trying to do it and making your own mistakes. So I think the most important thing when you decide that you want to start some sort of company, production company or theater company, is to get other people involved, because you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. Bring in the people who are motivated like you are to create something, and you'll find people who are also actors or writers or whatever you are, but who also have maybe a talent in graphic design or web design. You'll have people who are really good at, you know, having the balls to make a phone call and being really business-minded. You'll naturally have people in your group who all kind of fit in and just kind of slide into their various positions, and you'll have a company. Once you have a team of people that you trust and that you enjoy working with, you've got to meet regularly. I think the leap between kind of amateur company to professional producing is keeping your word, making a bold statement, and showing that you've accomplished it in the past. We said we were going to do our first benefit in a Broadway theater. That's what we told people before we had anything in place. That held us accountable, and we made it happen. Once you've made that happen, it's very easy to walk into a professional meeting with another even seasoned theater professional who's been around for ages and who might not trust you because they don't know your name, they haven't seen your stuff. But when you can say, well, last year I said I was going to do this, I did it at a 1,000-seat Broadway theater and I sold it out. When the other professionals start taking you seriously, you'll be kind of invited into the old boys club. But before they do, you have to invite yourself. For me, you know, so far in my life, I'm really mostly interested in producing work that I've created or my colleagues have created. So I'm not really looking to adopt somebody else's work. I don't give any weight to the whole commercial versus artistic material. People talk about selling out, and I mean, I think there are times where it's clear that a creative vision has been totally thrown away for the purpose of tickets. But you can do both. I mean, for me, my artistic visions are news stories, really personal stories that become universal just by how vulnerable and honest they can be. Telling socially minded stories, and that doesn't always line up with what we call commercialism, but I don't think that's hard to make work. I just don't think there's such a thing as selling out if you are weighing it out every time. If you make a choice to put, say, a celebrity in a show so that you can sell the show to investors, so that you can sell the show to audiences, Theatrical divas are always going to be there. I mean, look, I'm short. I'm 5'0". I can, I get pushed around a lot, and I think you can't be afraid by your very role. You are the biggest diva on set. You just shouldn't act that way. But you can't be afraid to fill the big shoes of the producer. You have to be willing to make people mad and let them throw their tantrum. They'll probably come back if it's a good show. For one, I've definitely had to learn to organize myself better. Break down a task list. When will insurance be due? When will I have to get all this paperwork to the unions? What kind of hours are we working within for the unions so that we can make a proper schedule? I do think it's really important to take it one step at a time. I became unafraid of looking stupid and asking stupid questions because you sometimes will just have to, and nobody can fill you in on every possibility. I'm the one in charge. I'm making the final decisions. I mean,